A boy who's chosen by fate to walk into a certain death, a hidden mentor watching from the shadows, unmoved by the situation his people finds himself in. The desert, it is still, but a storm has already begun. Boruto Uzumaki, he's made his choice. He's fighting Jura alone. But what if that wasn't the only play for Boruto? What if Kashin Koji is now taking advantage of this chaos? What if behind his cold logic and his unblinking foresight, he's already set in a different plan into motion? One where Boruto might have to figure it out for himself, but at the very least, Boruto's friends are going to be able to successfully get away. Join me in today's newest Naruto Explained video where we're going to look at why Kashin Koji might have a plan in place as of this recording, June 16, 2025, to save the members of that Gaara rescue team, which, as a reminder, the official chapters is going to drop on the 19th this month. We should be getting spoilers tomorrow or the day after. Hopefully it's tomorrow, which means we'll get raw scans in enough time for the chapter review editor to be able to give you guys a review on the 19th. If not, expect the review 48 hours after the official release, since the chapter review editor does need 2 days in order to maintain the quality you guys have been getting for the 2 Blue Vortex chapter reviews. So jumping right into it, we got to first look at the setup, which is Boruto's choice and Kashin Koji's warning. Boruto's decision to attack Matsuri and destroy her, it was not part of Kashin Koji's plan. Kashin Koji, due to his 10 directions foresight, which is basically a fast forward button that allows him to predict futures from multiple different possible timelines using 10 directions, it warned him if Boruto acted impulsively, then Jura would definitely come and death would follow. Boruto would cease to exist, and as Kashin Koji put it, we cannot defeat Jura if you are dead. But Boruto, he didn't care. He showed that he truly is Naruto's son. If it means saving people that he cares about, if it means preventing any unnecessary deaths, Boruto has no problem stepping in. Just as Naruto was all about trying to change fate, and he did change fate because he was fated to die fighting against Sasuke. They were supposed to have a battle to the death and one of them was supposed to die, either Naruto or Sasuke. Just as Naruto broke that cycle, Boruto's trying to be a breaker of fate himself. He couldn't risk Sarada or Mitsuki or Konohamaru dying next, likely Konohamaru. Not after the death of so many had already transpired, in particular what happened with Yodo. That set Boruto off, and even though Konohamaru caught Matsu off guard, destroyed a portion of her body, as we saw with just her having a head and a couple of pieces of her body still remaining, that was more than enough that she was gonna kill Konohamaru. Anyone doing disingenuous scaling putting Konohamaru over Matsuri, you're wrong, you're lying. Because that girl was going to kill that man before Boruto stepped in. She was going to make him suffer. Boruto, learning that Yodo died and that Kashin Koji knew it would happen, that was the last straw that broke the camel's back. And he was not going to allow Konohamaru to fall, potentially even someone else from that team. Kashin Koji rationalized it, saying, hey, the Thorn Soul bulbs, those are the most important things. If you go, there's a chance that Jura is going to kill you, a good chance, and he's going to recover the Thorn Soul bulbs of Matsuri and Ryu. The Thorn Soul bulbs needed to free Shinki and Moegi, otherwise they're left sealed forever. However, Boruto stepped into the void, and then that's when Jura appeared. But before Jura arrived, Boruto told Konohamaru, return to that rendezvous point where you first met the members of the Sand Village that were accompanying you, Jiraiya and Yodo, and await for further instruction. This was not a throwaway line. This was Kashin Koji's signal, which means that this is a moment that is going to get paid off at some point in the future. This brings me to a possible outcome here, which is that there could be a possible reverse summoning taking place because of a hidden toad. Kashin Koji is a clone of Jiraiya, a master of things that are related to toads, in particular toad summoning arts. One of the most underrated jutsu in his arsenal is that reverse summoning. He was able to use it to get away from Ishiki. The concept is simple. If a toad is tagged or if it is hidden somewhere nearby, then that person can be instantly teleported to a safe zone without having to channel chakra or focus because the toad's doing it for them. That is why Boruto said, hey, go there and await for further instruction. There could be a toad that they never found. That dead toad could have been a decoy. The concept is very simple when you consider that. Now consider this. Sarada's currently unconscious, so she's not going to be doing much fighting at all. Yodo, she's dead. The only thing she's fighting right now is a table in the afterlife. Mitsuki, he is low on stamina from having just fought using Sage Mode, and Konohamaru's still doing whatever in the hell it is that he's doing. And this isn't a stall tactic at all. Kashin Koji very likely has a toad nearby in order to reverse summon them should they get to that location. That will allow him to extract all their surviving Konoha shinobi and the body of the sand ninja that is going to get brought back to the Hidden Leaf Village. Given that Jiraiya would have the Thorn Soul bulb that's needed for Shinki to be released, you could argue that Jiraiya goes there to unseal Shinki, and then Shinki unseals Gaara. Gaara does have a jutsu manipulating the sand where he can transport everybody back to the sand village that are sand shinobi. Mitsuki, on the other hand, has Matsuri's Thorn Soul bulb, so that is the key to freeing Moegi. It's a win-win in that regard. You have basically knocked off two of the members of Jura's army. Koji's plan may not be about winning the battle for now, given that Boruto's out there, but trying to salvage the situation in any way possible because Kashin Koji is a very pragmatic person. Sometimes true victory is about retreating with the one thing that can turn the tide of war, especially if he runs the risk of losing Boruto. He needs to start coming up with other contingency plans. It's basically the bird in hand strategy. Retreat is a form of victory, as books like the 33 Strategies of War, the Art of War, and even the 48 Laws of Power talk about. To Kashin Koji, logic reigns supreme. He calculates risk like a machine, not like a human. And right now, Boruto's fighting Jura to buy time, and by staying, he's risking everything, and Kashin Koji is certain that Boruto's going to die. By pulling the Konoha shinobi out, Koji has somehow mitigated some risk. Sarada's Mangekyo Sharingan, it is rare. She is the last Uchiha because Sasuke is stuck in a tree somewhere. Mitsuki's Sage Mode is evolving. Matsuri's Thorn Soul bulb can be used to save Moegi and can possibly be used to engineer new countermeasures against the Shinju, assuming that the Thorn Soul bulb still survives after you unseal whoever's in the tree. We don't know what happens to the Thorn Soul after the fact. That is something we're inevitably going to see. We're going to see what happens when you free somebody from the Thorn Soul and what happens to the bulb after the fact. But it's important to remember that Kashin Koji, you can argue, he's been traumatized due to having seen multiple different timelines all destroyed. Even though those didn't come into existence, he retains knowledge of everything. By pulling the Konoha shinobi out and taking that bird in the hand strategy, escape for whatever you have rather than gamble at all, it could also set up other things. It wouldn't just stop with the Konoha team. If Koji also has a plan to get Jiraiya to Shinki's body and have Gaara unsealed from Shinki's jutsu once Shinki's restored, in Kashin Koji's mind, the mission becomes very clear. Extract survivors, especially those who serve value. Restore allies. Break the seal on Moegi. Potentially use the Thorn Soul bulb of Moegi and Shinki to analyze the Shinju and tip the scales before Code or Jura make their next move. Because again, Code's still out there somewhere. This brings me to the cost of cold logic. Borutos Sacrifice and Jiraiya's Spirit. That's where it's a true tragedy. Boruto is most likely, if you take Koji by his words, not making out alive. We know that Boruto does make it due to the flash forward sequence. So there is something that takes place that allows for Boruto to potentially escape. Whether that be Kawaki or Momoshiki, something that Kashin Koji has not foreseen, because Boruto has moved away from what it is that Kashin Koji planned. As he said, with 10 directions, everything he saw becomes null and void when people do things that go against what it is that he's seen for the path moving forward. Kashin Koji knows this. His 10 directions jutsu has likely already shown him the new branches in the timeline that are forming. He's warned Boruto. Boruto still went out. Things are at the time progressing in a way that he has foreseen, but there are other outliers that can change things. Boruto went out there, and it wasn't because he didn't understand. He did. He went out there because we see more of that tension between Boruto and Kashin Koji forming. He refuses to be someone like Kashin Koji, and that is a great irony. Kashin Koji is a clone of Jiraiya. Naruto tried his best to be like Jiraiya, and yet the dynamic between master and student with Boruto and Kashin Koji is drastically different than Naruto and Jiraiya, where Jiraiya would have jumped in order to help the boy. Kashin Koji, he looks like he's just watching and calculating. He is not showing himself. Jiraiya believed in his students being able to overcome destiny. Kashin Koji, on the other hand, believes that destiny might be a certainty, and he's all about trying to minimize casualties. He's taking a more calculated approach to changing destiny, whereas someone like Jiraiya was willing to take risks. Jiraiya trusted that the will of fire would prevail, that a child of prophecy would come out. Kashin Koji trusts only contingency, extraction, and logic. And yet, Koji's plan, it might save more people in the long run depending on what Boruto do. And that's where we are, a clone of, ironically, the most hopeful ninja in history, executing the most meticulously efficient plan, and doing so without any regard for human life. And for Boruto, he is having to fight alone. This brings me to what could be a final twist. What did Kashin Koji see about a possible anomaly that statistically does not have the highest chance of happening, but could change everything? Is there a unpredictable future where Boruto does survive, even if it's only a 0.001% chance? Could it be a dimensional interference by Momoshiki? Could it be a glitch in Jura's evolution? Could it be a divine move from someone like Kawaki, because he does have that Karma Seal? So if he has Ishiki's full attack power, he would be able to teleport right there to that location if he knows the coordinates, as we saw with Ishiki. Could this be Kashin Koji potentially now looking to make a small bet on the future, on that 0.01% chance, since he needs Boruto alive? Boruto and Ada and Kashin Koji have roles as being a singularity of fate. Boruto is the boy who walks the path of being both a shinobi and an Otsutsuki, a duality to his persona. If that is true, even this cold logic that Koji has, there might be something with Boruto he can't calculate. Maybe Kashin Koji in that regard is similar to Jiraiya, in the sense that he's going to have to hope and allow things to play itself out. Kashin Koji, as we can tell, he's playing a long game. Sacrifices are necessary. The war against Jura and the Shinju is just beginning. We have to ask ourselves, is Kashin Koji potentially going too far? Or is there a secret genius to the methods of everything that Koji has done? Obviously, if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing and checking out more videos from Naruto Explained by clicking here on the left, or click here on the right to check out these videos from my other 2 anime channels where I talk about non-Naruto content.